In my work, God has just been so amazing because I qualified as a teacher in 1993, and after 2.5 years I left to have the first of our 5 children, and I decided that I would leave teaching and look after my children instead for 10 years. And people said to me, if you make that choice, you will never go back into teaching. But I know that God has a plan for our lives, so I knew that I didn't need to worry about what my future would be because God knows. And so I left teaching for 10 years. And towards the end of that 10 years, I suddenly started to feel like it was time to go back. So I applied for some jobs, nothing came of them, and then I ended up getting a job in a high school, really part-time, teaching German. After a couple of years there, a job came up in a school much more local to my house, and I went and worked there as a languages teacher. But God gave me a word when I worked there that He wants to place me in a position of influence in that school. And I thought, this is madness. I've had 10 years out of teaching. I've only worked as a main scale teacher for a few years. But then they advertised for an assistant head teacher post, and somebody said to me, why don't you apply? So I applied for that and just miraculously got the job, and it felt like a massive step up. But every day I went into work knowing that that's what God had called me to do. And so it was easy and manageable, and I loved every second of it. And 18 months ago, somebody said to me, will you ever leave this job? Do you aspire to be more? And I said, no, I love this job. I'm going to work here for however many more years because I love it. And then just a matter of months later, something changed. And I started to think it was time to move on and to look for promotion. And I've never sought promotion. I've never really sought to be a head teacher or a deputy head teacher. But something in me said it was time to look for another job. And a job came up in this area as a deputy head teacher, and I thought, I'm just going to come and see if this is the right job. Not to see if it's the right job, to rule it out, because I didn't really believe that this is where I wanted to work. It is an area of poverty. A lot of parents around here, they won't have a well-paid job, and a lot of them won't have a job at all. And I said to God, if this is where you want me to be, I have got to love that school from the moment I walk through the door. And I stepped through the door and I thought, this is my job. I met the head teacher within 2 seconds and I thought, this is my job. And the situation was not great. There was debt in the school and the head teacher was really new, and everything smacked of, logically, this is not a really good move for you. But I knew it was my job. And the next day they rang me and I got the job. So I'm going to work in a school that has got so many students who will be struggling with so many issues, but I'm going to make a difference, and I believe that this is what God wants me to do. He wants me to not seek to have a comfortable life and to have a job that would have been easy for years and years and years and years, but He wants me to go and to make a difference and to have an impact on these young people's lives. So I'm just really excited.